Hey, what's going on? Welcome back, or welcome to the weekly THORChain news recap on THORChain University. Got some pretty good stuff to cover this week. So let's get right into this. And if you are here, by the way, please do hit the heart button or like this, share it wherever you can so we could get more views for it. And yeah, if you've got any questions as we go along here or comments, please do leave them in the chat. So first thing that was going on is there was an upgrade that removed the Mimir key. So as CryptoXZ says, this marks the beginning of a new era. Full decentralization is here. So it's just the nodes running the show now. They can still pause the network, but there's not that Mimir that allows one single person to pause the network. So I think it's like 4 nodes, or so. I could be completely wrong on that, but the point is the Mimir key is gone. So planned obsolescence, which many thought, I think that's what it was called. I think kill switch was for the burn of the tokens, planned obsolescence for the Mimir key. That is officially gone. So props to that. What's up, Soda? By the way, nice to see you in here. So that's the first thing. Then I was also thinking about the I made this post. So I wanted to talk about this concept of buy pressure on Rune built into the system. I said the current Rune pump is merely THORChain buying itself. Obviously, I was joking here. I talked to every other THORChain participant, and they confirmed they have not bought any. Looking at the current Rune price action, kind of raining on my tweet there. But the idea is that the protocol does, from swap fees, create a buy pressure for Rune now because there's no block rewards, sort of offsetting that are getting dumped into the liquidity pool. And Boone had a really good thread over on Twitter, and he actually wrote an article that we're going to talk about here as well. I'm going to pull up my calculator so we can do some math on exactly how much buy pressure is happening on like a daily basis, depending on what you see the volume as. So, he goes on to, I'll put a link maybe at the end of this to this article or to this thread for you to go and check it out. But going off of this, I'm going to go into the article to discuss this. So if you read this thread, then you kind of know where I'm going here. So this is the way the fee distribution works. So you get liquidity fees, which is buy pressure on Rune. And then 10% of that is going to come out for this TCY, this new token. So right off the bat, and everything in the red here, we're going to assume is automatic dumping of Rune. So let's say that the TCY people, maybe they're just accumulating their Rune. Eventually, they're probably going to sell it. So as a mechanic, some of this probably isn't going to get auto-dumped right away. The part that does get auto-dumped ends up in the getting dumped in the pools, though. So the new distribution looks like this. So 10% of the debt payment comes out. Then the dev fund gets 5% of what's left over on that. And then the liquidity pools, depending on the incentive pendulum, half of those fees get dumped. So I'm going to do the math here based on what Boone shared over here. So yeah, Boone's a great, he writes some pretty good stuff on THORChain. Go and give him a follow. Boone with an E-W. Check that out. So I created a calculator because I was curious how much buy pressure. I made this as a joke. Obviously, I don't know. It's not going to pump the price 10% every day or something like this. It was just more, oh, cool. So block rewards ended, and we don't got to worry about that now. So I made a calculator. Going to take a look at this here. So in terms of liquidity fees, I'm doing 50,000 for the day. And if you're curious where I got that, I'm at thorchain.net insights, and I went to this fees and block reward chart and liquidity, right? The blue was the block rewards, and there's no more of those anymore. So it's just the liquidity fees, the green bars. So I did the so what is it earning in liquidity fees the last whatever days this is? And it looks about like the average is probably somewhere around, probably wherever this bar is at. So 48, let's just call that $49,000. So that's where I got the liquidity fees. So if I put in 49 instead of 50, just to be right, that's what we're doing. So then TCY, take 10% off of that. So you're left with this much buy pressure. 5% goes to the devs. So then you're left with this much of buy pressure. And we're assuming that that rune got auto dumped. Otherwise, it wouldn't be that bad in sell pressure. Half of the pool, depending on half of the entry into the pool, depending on impermanent loss. So to get that, I went to Rune Tools over here, Familiar Cow's dashboard. And right now it's at 43.81. So I'm just rounding that to 44%. So half of that, so 44% of what's left goes to the liquidity pool, but only half of that gets sold for the non-rune. So half of it stays rune, half of it gets sold. So that leaves you with 78% of this percentage that's left over here. And that gives you 66.69% of the 49,000 goes to buy rune. So if I did rune at $1.40, that means today, you know, assuming that there was no market impact, means that 23,342 rune in buy pressure was added today. So obviously if people or traders, whoever it is that decides to sell, which it looks like somebody did just earlier, then they just, if they sell any more than this, then they're going to offset the buy pressure from THORChain, the way I understand that. So as the liquidity fees go up, like let's say that it ends up going to 150,000 and the incentive pendulum stays this way and the price stays this way and everything, right? Could go up to, you know, 71,000 in buy pressure of Rune token. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. You know, it's not that much money. So I just wanted to clarify my joke tweet, right? Because Vegeta, I'm sure you guys have seen him. Vegeta, let's see if I can find him on here. Yeah, he made this. Now is the protocol selling itself, making a joke at what the PA is doing at the very moment that I'm doing this live stream. Right. And I said, I talked to every participant again, and yeah, just making a joke. But yeah, just so we're clear on how much buy pressure is actually happening right now, at least it's some, because before it was, this number was like a negative if you included block rewards and all that. It just wasn't offsetting, to my understanding, most of the time. I think some of the time it did, depending on rune price, but most of the time it did not offset. And then now we've got the burn in there too. So that's good. So there's that. Ledger Live swaps are back on THORChain. This was a while ago now. So this was like probably half a day ago or so. AutoStake caught this swap. 1 Bitcoin was swapped on Ledger, and they paid that fee, that Ledger affiliate fee. Kind of crazy, but if people are willing to do it, who are we to judge or care if that is what they want to do? And you can go to THORChain.net and then go to transactions. You can do an advanced filter. You just put LL in the affiliate, and it'll pull up all the Ledger. So Ledger's back. That's good. Trust Wallet is back. LiFi is doing its thing. Did I say Trust Wallet already? Right. So it seems that all of the integrations are back online now, especially with Ledger. Obviously, that's going to help with volume, but also, at least in my opinion, it's probably most important for confidence. You know, for people to be like, well, if Ledger, Ledger's a hardware wallet. They're trustworthy by just the nature of the product they create in a way. So THORChain being active in Thor Wallet, in Ledger, and in Trust Wallet is a good sign for confidence. At least that's how, right? That's how I'm looking at it. And then here, THORChain in the Ledger Wallet app, I guess itself, you've got Changely is another option in order for you to do swaps. And as Fantajiro points out, THORChain is cheaper. You get 1.9 ETH more on this swap, and Changely is centralized, and they do KYC block. I don't know if there's minimums on that, right? If you're doing 474,000, do they flag that every single time because of how much it is, right? Do you have to do maybe swaps of 40,000 or less? I don't know what the limit is, but I know they do spot check and make people KYC certain Bitcoin. So if you have non-KYC'd assets that you're swapping around, you probably do not want to be using centralized intermediaries, even though you're using Ledger. If it uses Changely on the back end, they might say, hey, you need a KYC, to my understanding. And I don't know. Hopefully they give you a warning to say, hey, they're going to KYC this. So do you still want to proceed? And you could say no, because that would be terrible. If you try to do this swap, your funds get trapped on a centralized exchange, and then they make you KYC in order to get untrapped. That would be awful. Has anyone had that experience watching this? I do not know how they handle something like that. Then also wanted to touch on some of the supply. With block rewards having ended, the max supply should now equal what was the total supply. And the max supply was 500 million for a period of time, because you could always mint up to 500 million. It was like a hard cap. And when lending was there, you would mint Rune in order to close loans. So theoretically, you could always run up to the 500 million. But now that no longer exists. So the total supply is now the max supply. So this max supply here on this dashboard, I do not think is correct anymore. And the burn is only going to reduce the total supply. Let's see if we can get lucky and catch one. 505.7. Nope. It's going to give me the zeros until we get some action there. But total supply will actually reduce. And then there you go. So a little bit there. And that now reduces the circulating supply. The burn did, I believe, reduce this. But the block rewards would dump the rewards in the pool. So I think that was increasing it, because it would come from the reserve, and the reserve was uncirculating, if that makes sense. So uncirculating was going into circulating with block rewards, which isn't happening anymore. So circulating supply is going down now as the burn goes up, just in a nominal amount here. And the total supply, or the max cap, now is also shrinking. I looked at this because if this is actually the max supply now, then it would be cool to see that on CoinGecko, because then it would lower the FDV. Not that that is a big deal, you know what I mean? And if you're wondering where the 426, the difference here between 426 and the 500, they burned their standby reserve, and then there was kill switch. So like the BEP2 rune and the ETH rune that got burned. That totaled around 74 million, 74 million runes. So that's the difference between this total supply and max cap, roughly, I believe. So that's that on some of the supply side of that. The burn, we got the burn going. I watched a Grassroots crypto video, and he mentioned that because the block rewards aren't part of the blocks anymore, the burn should slow down, because some of the block rewards were getting burned, like 5% of those. So without that happening, it should slow down. But if you look at the 7-day, I don't know. We're just going to have to see a trend. If I look at 30-day, kind of flat until just recently. Block rewards were just the other day, right? So this should trend down. And even right here where it looks like a zero, they just do the minimum, right? Block rewards, which is 1667. They set that as the zero on the graph. So it's not like there were none on this day. If we go here, there's not none. 1677. It's just that was the lowest number in this chart, if you see that. But Soda Popensky, I agree with you. Grassroots videos are very informative. He just put out one, as I mentioned yesterday. And speaking of, I did watch it. One of the takeaways I wanted to share, go watch this. He's really great with some of the technical stuff going into what they have planned, like the outbound queue and some of this stuff. I don't generally follow, I think, because on the tech side, I don't really know the implications necessarily, but he does a great job. And then I do my best to just relay anything that I gain from this. But I really did take away one cool thing I learned from this video was the impact of the current, the dual LPs that got sort of trapped and screwed by this THORChain thing, how the next, when TCY launches, how it's going to help them and what they're going to do to sort of make sure that they have a chance. It just made the whole thing make it. See, I'm having a hard time even discussing it right now. He does a great job, but I wanted to throw this out here. The next release, I guess, is supposed to have EDDSA, which is the Solana. I don't think I can see it on here. I think it's EDDSA or EDCSA. I can never remember this stuff. I think it's EDDSA, which will have Solana. So we said this release 3.3. So we can look out for this now and say, when is 3.3? Because it should have the tech behind Solana integrated. But obviously it's not going to Solana wouldn't necessarily be added like right off the bat or anything like that. He mentioned in this video they would want it to run for a while. Maybe it goes here, then they do a test net, then they do a main net or something. But he said it has to work here for a while, and then Solana will get added. But once 3.3 will have, it sounds like the infrastructure will be there. So then very short, I mean, I don't know how long after that, maybe a month or two, maybe there will be Solana. So something to look forward to. Yeah, go subscribe Grassroots Crypto. Check out this video. It was a really good recap. And then I just wanted to maybe talk about the idea of THORChain having a front end and discuss if anyone wants to chat about it. I saw some differing takes in this thread, so I just wanted to see your guys' thoughts on it. I saved his videos to understand synths in the pool better. He's doing great work. Yeah. Grassroots Crypto does really good stuff over there. His synths video, I tried watching it like 2 times, 3 times, and it's like a tough concept for me to get. But I think I'm starting to get it. And right as I'm starting to get it, it's no longer going to exist. Fantastic. You know what I mean? Dusty Macro, thanks for the updates. I was just thinking, it'd be cool if THORChain was better integrated into the crypto tax software and understand all the intricacies of LPing, bonding, etc. Yeah, I think the thing is, this topic is so dependent on where you live, probably, into the crypto tax software. I don't even know what that is, like a specific one or whatever. But yeah, maybe they could. I don't know. To be honest, I have no clue. I don't know how that stuff goes. Yeah, Asgard X is awesome too. If you haven't tried Asgard X, go and give that a try. It's a desktop app where you can do swaps. Your portfolio is in there. I think you can LP. You can add. You can bond to nodes. You can do a lot of stuff on Asgard X, and you don't have to have a browser extension to do that. You can use Keystore. I think it has Ledger and Trezor on there too. So yeah, Asgard X. Shout out to them. And then yeah, I was on I got invited to come check out this video, which I had no idea was just going to be a demo for Kujira. So I'm glad I got invited to it, to be a fly on the wall of sorts, to get to see what all this is going to look like. I had no idea. And this demo is awesome. If you haven't used the Kujira apps and seen some of this stuff, like one thing I was blown away by that I never really understood liquidations markets. Like some DeFi products just, right? They're hard concepts to kind of get. But what they were talking about, like, for example, I figured if you were bidding on a liquidation price for something, let's say Bitcoin is 100K and then it falls to 95K, someone might get see, I need to familiarize myself better to be able to understand it. But essentially here, you can buy assets at a discount. And in order to buy them, though, you have to have money sitting in a bucket. And that's where I was always like, why would anyone do this? If I want to buy Bitcoin when it dips, I'll just put in a limit buy order 10% below the market price. And this is pretty cool because you can, for example, you'll be able to lend out some USDC, let's say, and make, I don't know what the APY on that would be. Let's just say like 2 or 3%, something like that. And then you get an XUSDC token, right? And then you can bid on liquidated assets with that money that you're currently making, right? So yeah, you get a wrapped token that's earning, and then it's just pools. So it would just be like a staked sort of deal. And then you bid on these assets with the XUSDC that you're earning money on, which I just thought was really, really cool. So while it's sitting there in this bucket, it could be still earning money. So if nothing gets hit, you didn't just waste your time completely, right? You're still earning. And that was just like one thing that my small brain was able to like get away from this demo. There were some other really cool things as well. They're going to have the AI agents, right? It's going to be so awesome. But yeah, go if you haven't. The main thing, it's an hour and 40 minutes, but as Baloney mentions here in this tweet, start it from 35 minutes, and they go through this walkthrough. And if you weren't bullish on Ruji before, not financial advice. I'm not saying that you will be after watching this or anything like that. But if you're from THORChain community and you haven't really gone and experimented with Kujira, go watch this video for sure. Go watch this video and check it out. Super eye-opening and awesome in my opinion. Some of the other ecosystem coins, just 2 projects I wanted to touch on here. So Cacao Swap, which I hadn't known until a couple weeks ago, the Calc Finance guys built this. And they just distributed 1,000 YUM tokens to the staking contract yesterday. So if you're staking YUM, then yay. That's awesome, right? You got some staking rewards. Automated distribution is on the way up in the backlog. Dev updates tomorrow onward. So Cacao Swap, if you want to go and check them out. We've also got Dorito Dex. So I saw this tweet from them. They've got, if you didn't see I'm just considering this THORChain ecosystem stuff here, but Solo, I don't know his name, was on the thread guys, and give him a follow too. I don't have him pulled up here. He's the one that makes these videos, and they're amazing, right? Obviously, but he leaked on a live stream with Thread Guy that there's going to be UST 2.0, something like backed by meme coins. And then Dorito, right? And they say that here. Do Queen flips Luna after launching an unprecedented meme-backed stablecoin. We don't know that that's going to actually happen, that it's going to flip, or who knows what's going to happen with price. Dorito plays a blank to be announced part with our D-Kit, SDK, and router. So if you weren't aware, they're building a swap kit competitor, and the idea being that right, you'll be able to own the Dorito token, and if the router earns revenue and affiliate fees, you'll be able to get some of that revenue share, which is similar to a project that that on my personal channel I'd covered a lot of that ended up not going that way. So this is sort of like an old version of that, except gonna do this, right? So they're gonna have a router. You can already buy their token to have feeless swaps, that kind of thing. But I went to just check this out. It's just, I consider this Queen stuff, again, part of the ecosystem. They've got a flip Luna thing. So the Luna market cap 185. So it'd be like a 9x from here. I'm not talking about prices, whatever, just some of the stuff they've created in the ecosystem. Do or do not buy. Queen is a meme coin, right? But yeah, personal opinions on some of the stuff I'll share on my channel. But that's it for the news with some of the ecosystem coins and what's going on with THORChain. Let's see. Soda Popensky. Since will always exist in the wrapped version, we need this to have pools. It's that leverage synth part in the pools that's the problem. Well, the synths, I thought I remember hearing on a recent space or a recent call somewhere that even the synths that were not in the pools are getting accounted for, and that and that it was getting frozen or something. They're taking care of it somehow. But the synths I thought were going to be isolated, because there's going to be secured assets on Kujira. The secured assets, right? But I know they're leaving synths in the liquidity pools for the current dual LPs, but they're gonna make like a separate one, because if you or I wanted to go do the dual LPs and try to take advantage of potential upward price action, it would kind of dilute the value of the leverage for the people that are already in there. So I think that's how they're going to separate it. So whatever synth leverage is there, I think is frozen. And then as soon as the dual LPs in that sort of pool that's still using the synth leverage, as soon as they sell, like let's say all those people sold, all those synths would be gone, I thought. This is where it gets a little bit technical, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that because Savers is gone. So there's not going to be synth leverage in the pools. And then I thought synths themselves were already mostly gone because everyone's doing ARBs and all that with secured assets because they're cheaper and easier now, or just better. I thought. Dusty, Dorito is one of the few ways to manage an Amaya liquidity pool position on Ledger. Super helpful. Cool. I did not know that. There's probably a lot of different nuances with some of these different, ecosystem dexes and things like this. And did I totally skip over this just in like my mind just like passed it? Oh, okay. So Paper X, not to, if THORChain was to make, people have suggested, why not THORChain just make its own front end and charge, low to zero fees? And I think the original reason why that would be bad is because then they control too much of the stack. And I guess in the previous crypto environment, it was really bad to be doing that because then they could try to sue you from, maybe it opens up attack vectors for people that want to sue you. Namely, like I guess the SEC would have been in that instance. But if you have, right, so THORChain didn't want to do a UI because they didn't want to control too much of the stack. And I think they even used to point at Uniswap of being a bad example, where Uniswap has their contracts and they've got the system, but they also run that front end, I think, which made it difficult or impossible at the time for them to do a revenue sharing token. I think that's probably part of the fear. I'm speculating and just assuming, but let me know if I'm wrong. This is just some of what I thought there. But yeah. But so what's going to happen is, I mean, even if you want it to be cheaper, the more user interfaces there are, the more competition there might be for prices. Or for example, even pointing at Dorito, they're trying to do something creative where if you buy the token, you don't have to pay any affiliate fees. And their side project, like the revenue generator, is going to be this DKit SDK router that other projects can use and tap into, and they'll get a revenue source from that. So there's like, people are going to be creative with how they do this. But the more of these websites competing right now, crypto is going to get adopted, and theoretically everyone should still be able to do really well. So it's not like people are necessarily going to be eating each other alive at this stage. I mean, what the THORChain ecosystem essentially is what most of these products are known for. So once all this stuff goes outside of that bubble, hopefully, then everyone can grow together. But at a certain point in the future, there will be a competition on fees to bring the fees down. So the more UIs you have, the more competition there is, the more they're going to try to price cut each other, which means the fees should come down, would be my thought on that. And then it just becomes personal preference. Like I think Ledger has like a 1% fee or something. It's like a crazy thing, and people are paying it. People are just willing to do it. So until it gets to that point where people are really fee conscious, everyone can continue making money and building cool stuff and experiment with different business models and different methods and stuff that they tack on, right? So it seems to me it seems pretty exciting. But I'm curious your guys' thoughts. Do you think THORChain should create its own front end, or do you think they should just focus on creating that underlying infrastructure that other UIs just tap into? I kind of lean towards that, if I'm honest. Yeah. Because Bitcoin can't be LP'd on itself. Yeah, I need to get into... So whatever we call it, we always need wrapped synth version of each asset on THORChain network because can't be LP'd on itself. So it's in the vault. So when you say synth, So I know that there's like a one-to-one sort of backed synth because the Bitcoin is in a vault. I don't know. Isn't half the Bitcoin sold for the pool though? Like I thought Bitcoin, if I enter into a liquidity pool, I put in, 100K in Bitcoin, half of that's getting sold for Rune. And you know that going into the pool. So why would it even need synths if half of it is sold? I don't know. I do not know. What's up, Brendan? Glad you came in here. We're at the end of this thing. Crypto Jedi, is THORChain dead? I don't know. If you go and look at the swaps, if we go and look at transactions, where did I have that? Let's see. I'll just go advanced filter and remove affiliates and then submit. Or actually, and then just do swaps and submit. So this is just swap action, none of the other stuff. So every few seconds, a few seconds ago, a minute ago, people are doing swaps. 3 ETH, $1,000 USDT, another $1,000. No massive bangers that I can see right off the bat. Like no, full Bitcoin level stuff. But yeah, this is, right? This is the volume. So yeah, it's definitely not dead. It's still cruising along doing business as usual. It's just a matter of growth, I think. It's going to have probably some reputational damage. I know there's ex-community members that are still, right? They're going to be really unhappy for a long time until they get paid back or see a light, at least, I think, at the end of the tunnel, because that's not guaranteed. But that this was most important, at least in my opinion. The affiliates are all back on, which to me was the biggest sign that it could do really, do well and come out of this. But it's not dead. It's definitely not dead, but it probably has some work to do. Thankfully, though, Kujira is launching, right? That's what I was saying. Go watch that video. TGE is the end of March with the merge starting the end of February. And then go watch this video. Like if they can get users in volume, half of that goes to the THORChain base layer. So that is more volume. And if it works, like a lot of people might go to Kujira and just use it. And maybe they don't even mention THORChain. So if people come over and they're using Kujira and they like the Ruji token, they buy the Ruji token, they may not even care. I mentioned this on a live stream like a few days ago, I think. It was pretty bullish to me, at least, that there are some people that really like the Ruji token and Kujira, completely aside from THORChain. Like, it was about potentially merging the Rune token with the Ruji token. And some people were chiming in. They were like, I don't want Rune. I don't want anything to do with the base layer. Which to me is hard to understand because I've liked Rune, right? So it's like, why would you not want, I guess, yeah, like it's not, some people aren't going to like it, but they're really bullish on Kujira as like a centralized exchange, decentralized, centralized exchange sort of thing. Like it's going to be one unified website. And even in the demo, it was one wallet and you're going to be able to do everything from the wallet. It looked really, really cool. So I don't know how long it's going to take to roll out every single feature that they simulated and did a demo of. I think that's the big thing. But that Kujira looks really, really cool in my opinion. So hopefully they can attract some attention and get some volume and do marketing. That's the thing. THORChain didn't really do marketing. That was one thing that people complained a lot about. But I'm not sure that Kujira is not going to do marketing. That might be what everyone is saying. Get a UI, a front end. In a sense, if 50% of the volumes from Kujira Network are going to the THORChain base layer, in a way, Kujira Network is THORChain's somewhat official UI. I mean, the Kujira module is built into, like, you've got THORChain and Kujira all built on the same layer. So they call it base layer, app layer, but it's really just all included in the layer one. And that's another thing too. Is Rune THORChain going to get repriced as a layer one, with most people thinking that Kujira is a layer two and they're doing the layer 2 and they're like, oh, I want to go buy this layer 1, right? People do that with Solana. They'll buy Jupiter token, but they might want to own Solana token too. I mean, they have to some for gas, right? But maybe that's what happens there is Kujira just takes all the focus, and that could become one of the main places of volume for THORChain. And I will be curious to see how it competes. You know, right now I think it's Trust Wallet and THORSwap are the top 2. But Kujira, you're going to be able to do a lot of stuff. But on THORChain, and this is cool too. Oh man, so I know I'm just rambling at this point, but like Kujira is open source, and it's gonna do like the THORChain model where you're gonna be able to have affiliates. So, for example, a wallet could offer perps in the wallet, and it could, I think, right? I think this is how it would go, and then they could tap Kujira's underlying tech to put perps, Kujira essentially, in the wallet, like whitelisted, right? It's still, oh, it's my XYZ wallet, and you can do perps with these assets. And then you're doing the perps trading with those assets, not knowing that you're really just using Kujira, and they're going to tack on a fee on that wallet, an affiliate fee. So it could be like that where THORChain is in all these different wallets. Well, why can't Ruji also, if the wallet has a relationship with THORChain already, then how much harder would it be necessarily to sell them all the Kujira benefits of, I mean, maybe I guess in some geographies, like, you know, perps may not be allowed on Trust Wallet, but who cares? Maybe they can. I don't know all the rules on this stuff, but that just kind of got my mind going on that too. So they may not even have to come find Kujira.network in order for it to generate fees. A wallet might integrate Kujira, and fees might come through that way too. So just a lot going on. And hopefully they market it. Hopefully, you know, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. There's a lot kind of like going on that's a lot of unknowns. I mean, because even this, right? This is another reason why I really like tracking this Queen token, because obviously Do Queen flips Luna after launching. Dorito plays a part with our DKit SDK and router. And, you know, they're kind of talking about Queen. I know it's Bruce's project, and I'm pretty sure he's in with the THORChain people. I'm pretty sure he's a THORChad, right? So like, if Queen ends up being a really big meme coin associated with THORChain, could that show up in videos? Could, you know, Kujira is also going to have a stable coin, a Bitcoin-backed stable coin. How does that? I don't know. So many like possible things that could happen. It just needs to move past this unfortunate situation that it's in right now, which is a total bummer. It feels like it has to like restart and kick the momentum. But fortunately, there's things happening with Kujira, hopefully more integrations, chains, all that kind of stuff to kind of like spark everybody. Because yeah, it would be really hard to get the ball rolling again if some of that stuff wasn't on the way, in my opinion. Just my opinion over here on this very neutral THORChain Uni channel. Nothing said here is ever financial advice, and all opinions are my own. I'm not speaking for THORChain Uni on here. And Crypto Jedi, yeah, cheers. Hopefully, I mean, that's just my opinion, right? I think THORChain isn't going to go anywhere. Just got to kickstart the momentum and get everything, get the ball rolling again. But it looks good. Anyways, that's it for this one. Appreciate everybody hanging out on this news live stream. Going to be doing these still every Friday. So bookmark it, right? But that's it. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend, and see you on the next video.